What's going on, everybody? Who's all here? 65 people already in the waiting room. You guys are amazing. Can't believe so many people ready to hang out. I love it, though. I love it. Let's see who's first tonight. Vin Man, number one. Is that your first number one, Vin? Michael Hyde, two. Let's see here. Charlie Mack, what's going on? Excuse me. Dubois in the house. Mantan, Sushamel, Moody, Jasper, Charlie, Joel, Hawkeye, Phil, Robert, Barbara. Look at all these good peeps. The ones in here. Blue 5. Hey, guys. How's everybody doing? Gretchen's here. Crutto, Old Finds, Barry. Love it, guys. Good to see y'all. Is anyone into crypto? Donna. There are definitely people into crypto. Smarter than me. We'll have to talk about it. One of these days, I'm gonna be putting more energy into that. But I can refer you to some people. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you, Mark. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Might be my favorite movie. Look at this. Look at look at what he put together for me, Michael. It's so funny. What's up, BB? Capote, Northwest. Kathy for the Republic's here. Croissant from sunny Southern California. Greg. Just Mike. Dan. And Dan Johnson. Dan. Hurry before Not gets here. Oh, Not's always welcome. I could use a couple Not jokes. They're always a good time. Just why is that your expos? Man, he put up the Lincoln one of me too, which it's funny. It's a little scary in my opinion. It's not. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I gotta show you guys this. Oh, where is it? Is it this one? No. I don't know if you guys all saw this, but here we are. All right. Abraham Lincoln, what's up? I don't like that picture of me. You know how I know I gotta lose weight? Look at those cheeks. Oh my god. It's embarrassing. New year, carnivore's back on. It is time. It is time. What's up, Apollyon? It's the pattern with Not. What's up, Diana? Good to see you. Maybe it's me that looks like you're trying to have a third job. No third job. Oh, you see in my acting pictures. What's up, Richie? All right, guys. So tonight, before we get too distracted here, tonight I want to, the focus of tonight's show, listen, we got 2 trading days left of the year. Okay. Well, actually one. Today was second to last. Markets just doing what the market does. Nothing completely interesting today. Wolf was up more, which is good. Finger and GTI just doing their same thing, barely moving. And it's just the end of the year cha-cha, as Ham would say. Nothing to talk about too much in that area unless you guys have questions, and I'll do my best to answer. What I want to talk about today is looking ahead. We're going to go through a lot of economic data. There was a bunch of stuff I found today that was really interesting. Just show you, again, correlations between 2008, 2020, other crashes we've had, where we're at. And the more I see, the more I'm convinced something's happening in Q1 of next year, beginning of Q2 at the latest. So in that February to April window, I'm thinking. So we're going to go over that today. That'll be our focus. And I'll talk about some other things I listened to today, broke down. I'm going to be working on a video that not all of you will be interested in, I'll just be honest, but some of you will be very interested in. Most of you will be very interested in. And it's a conglomeration of all the like spiritual people and what they're picking up for next year. people I trust that I've seen to be very accurate over the years. So I'm going to be working on that and probably get that out to you guys tomorrow or Saturday. And then we'll go over that. Maybe that'll be a members live. But anyway, but that's going to be the focus tonight. Just letting you guys know, we'll keep going through that. There wasn't any like super big news today as far as our stocks go. So as always, I'll answer questions, whatever you guys want to get caught up on. But that'll be our focus. But we're also just gonna, I'll move a little slower tonight, take it easy, hang out with you guys and talk because there's no rush tonight. So no rush. And I'm sorry for those of you who don't like listening to the whole show, who want to get through a rush. It's just not how I do it. I don't know. I'm just not that guy. Sometimes I like to do the short videos, but it's a lot more work, and I'd rather just sit down and talk to y'all. So that's kind of how I do it. And I get a lot of people, surprisingly, who like to tune in and listen on the next day as if I'm a podcast. And honestly, for me, that's my favorite way to listen as well. The short punchy I get through reading. That's why I use Twitter. That's why I, check out news stories. If I want to hear breakdowns on stuff, I like to listen to people. That's why I like podcasts so much. So that's kind of how I themed this show, and it's more of a podcast, and it's how it's supposed to be. And maybe I just grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh or something, so I just talk too much, but whatever. Rambo Ace. Oh my God. That'd be funny. What's up, CJ? Ham was talking big numbers in GTI and Finger today. Was he? I actually missed the call today. It's the first call I've missed in forever. And so I'm going to have to go back and listen to that. Nice stovetop. Thanks, Charlie. Mortal last trading day, going to the moon. We'll see. Tomorrow, I don't think things are going to really start moving until January. Northwest, the pic of you in the top hat looks like a rich guy in the Titanic. It was supposed to be an Abraham Lincoln picture, but unfortunately I look nothing. Well, actually I'd say fortunately, I look nothing like Abraham Lincoln, so it didn't really work. The power of the shorts, oh God. 4 score. So, yeah. You mailed in your last house payment today, Donna. That is absolutely massive. Congratulations to you. Wow. I greatly look forward to the day I can say that in my life. That's awesome, Donna. Congrats to you. Wow. It's a Cheech. How dare you? Blue like listening in the long morning on the drive. I love it. Thanks, Darren. I know. Yeah, that's so cool. Did my dog fully recover? Yeah. Woke up. My dog's fine. Thanks for asking, by the way, Charlie. Yeah, I was right. After weighing her and finding out she's a big fatty, it turns out it protected her from the chocolate issue. So, hey, good for her. I'm happy for her. So, Ace Ram Lincoln. Oh God, here we go. It's just gonna keep coming, huh? I mean, look at that. I don't look like Honest Abe at all. He's all like sunken face. My face is way too chubby to be Abraham Lincoln. Sorry, it's just true. Walmart selling gold bars. I know. I saw that too. That's a wild thing to to think. The weird thing is that means there's a lot of gold out there. There's a lot of gold. If Walmart, Target are starting to do them, and they must have seen that there's a lot of business in it right now, and so that's why they're accruing. Because like them or not, Walmart, Target, all these places, they're smart. They're smart. They know how to sell, and they're not going to do something like that unless they think there's a big market for it. Pretty crazy. Ruben, I have not heard of any new updates on the dividend, unfortunately. We'll win. What do I think about GDC? I'll be completely honest with you. I finally sold out on GDC. I jumped out of GDC because I just couldn't do it anymore. I did it today, actually. I jumped out of GDC today. There's no movement in that stock right now. If it starts moving again, get some interest in it again, I will be back in. I do believe there's a huge opportunity there. But for now, it seems dead to me. So I'm out on GDC. I bought in on, I moved out of GDC and I just bought some Wolf. To make a little money right now while Wolf is active. So I'm green for now. Fingers crossed. And once I feel safe on that, I'm going to get out and probably just go back into Finger GTI at these prices. I was able to get a little GTI today too, which was nice. Guy looks like the Dodger. Vim and him said that come New Year, law enforcement agency will take action on figure. Yep, that's what I'm hearing. So that's very exciting. If law enforcement kicks down those doors, it'll be over fast. I had a good conversation with somebody the other day talking about all this, and they were saying the way things work on Wall Street, that if one person gets busted, it's over because they'll all give it up. And he's just saying that they don't want to mess around with that. They don't want to mess around with prison. They'll do all the illegal stuff as long as they think they can get away with it. But as soon as they think there's heat on it, they'll quit. And they don't care about these little fines, but they care about prison. Honest Ace. That's right. Oh, speaking of Ham, he must be watching. Hold on. Hey.
I can't find your link on YouTube, so I couldn't text you. I couldn't write anything. I don't know how it's not there, but
that's all right.
Amy, do you want? You had a couple of questions. I saw you sold out on GDC. You rat bastard.
I didn't have that much, but it's been so dead.
Listen. It acts horrible. I agree, but again, you know who I'm following, so. That's
I know. I'm going to be watching it.
Are we live? You ready to go?
Oh, yeah. Go for it, man.
Okay, so I couldn't read anybody's message. I don't know how to find it on YouTube.
You're all right. Give us a little rundown, and I'll give you questions.
Okay, so again, GDC. I'm following someone I respect a lot. He owns 1 million shares, so I assume something will come. I just don't know what it is. I wish I knew. I would tell you. Not happy about it. I'm watching Wolf go. I have a bunch of friends that own a lot of Wolf, over 3 million shares, and I was trying to get them to move out because they owned it about $1.15, something like that. I was trying to get them to sell and start loading up in Finger, but they want to wait because the stock acts too good, and I agree on that. The stock just 100 million shares in 2 days, and something's going on there. Someone's upside down. People are buying it. And, they go when they go. All of a sudden, they turn and they pop. If you looked at it today, it opened. They drove it down to 275. I turned around. It was back at 315. I mean, it's just crazy, that activity. And to anyone who doesn't understand, that's how shorts try to cover. Right?
Yeah, run it up.
That's a sign of a short. Well, they let it go up a little bit, then they smash it down quick, and then they try to come back and scoop up people, like ourselves, and say, the stock doesn't act well, let me get the hell out, and they come and scoop it up.
Yeah.
That's a common tactic. I've done that 1,000 times. This is how how do you cover millions of shares of stock? That's how you have to do it.
Yeah. You
got to get people to come out of it. What we see in the names we're seeing, you don't see that activity. These guys, there's so many shares they can't. It's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just take a step back for a second, and I just pounded Twitter with like 100 stories.
I saw those.
Pictures. I'm just sitting there saying, okay, the bashes are out in full force. You got muddy waters. Now everyone's cheering on the Forbes article about MMTLP. What does all these people, why do they give a shit about MMTLP and this guy writing it for Forbes? Mm-hmm. This is a cartel we're going against, people. They're all criminals. Listen, again, these guys are here selling shares that don't exist. It's a business. They've been doing it forever. Muddy Waters is part of it. Hindenburg, all these guys are doing it. And listen, I can't blame them. We're just taking away their livelihood, and we're right over the target, and they can't stand it. They want to discredit MMTLP and that DC, the letters they're getting signed. That's a killer. They know this is getting close. They're gonna get abused, and that's why they're fighting so hard, because they can't make a living. These people, it's impossible to trade the market and make the money these guys have been making. Mm-hmm. They've been ripping off everybody. Look, they write stories. Wolf is no good. This company's no good. The CEO's a scam. They're accusing us of not having the truck there. We superimposed it against Gary Gensler. Come on. I got to answer these stupid questions. John Berta has to write his history on Twitter for everybody. That's none of your business what he's done.
Yeah.
It's a free world. You can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You're out here. We have to defend ourselves against these people that got 3 people following them, and they're just throwing shit against the fan. They're throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
This company's no good. Yeah, all companies are no good. All companies have shitty times. Not every company is ripping, doing great every day of the week.
Of course not.
That's the way it happens. IBM, Microsoft, how many times you've seen them? They miss their quarters, they go down, sales slow down. It happens all the time. Give it a break. Don't fall for these people. They're just trying to steal your money.
Yeah.
Listen, I am a frontline veteran for a long time, so there's not much they're going to rattle me about. I really don't give a shit. You can call me the devil, call me scumbag. I could care less. You got the wrong guy. Sticks and stones, right? What am I going to say? There's nothing you can. Listen, this is about money. This is what it's all about. You're stealing our money. We want it back, and because you got your hand in the cookie jar, we're going to break your balls and make you go broke and put you in jail. You wanted to keep playing? You want to keep playing? Now you're playing. Now you're playing with your life, because when you go to jail, you're going away for a long time.
Oh yeah.
All right. And the stuff that I'm putting together, I'm sending to law enforcement. It's a child can take this case to court. That's how easy it's getting, because you can see, everyone can see what's going on now. It's not just us. Everybody can see it. And all I ask is everyone here, retweet the MMTLP thing. The guy running for office in West Virginia, the guy Rose, he stepped up. He wants to help out. Retweet his name. Anything you can do to help out. You don't have to buy any stock. We're not here to help you trade and make money. Listen, I make the same mistakes as you do. Up, down, sideways. We're all in the same goddamn boat.
100%.
Yeah. The thing is that I don't have the capital to go play other names.
Yeah.
I would love to try to keep trading other names and build a bigger position, but I can't. I don't have enough money to do it anymore. That's just the way I am.
Yeah.
But you could say I got ripped off like everyone else.
Yep.
I got ripped off a lot more than anybody on this phone. Trust me. A lot. Okay? I lost part of my life doing this stuff. And that's why I'm not going away.
Yeah.
So that's just me. But again, I pounded the stories up there. I call out I can't call out anybody else. Who else is there left? Who's left? I don't know. I've called everybody a total scumbag. Everybody. I couldn't kill. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? How can anyone defend this criminal activity? I don't even know how you do it.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's like your daughter gets raped, and it's her fault because she wore a skirt. That's what Pat Byrne used to always say. It's her fault. She wore a skirt. That's what these guys are doing. These bashes and these other people writing. This guy from Virtue. This guy's a creep writing on Twitter. The guy Pedro from Philly's fighting with him. He's busted them. We all know what they do. They're just a new version of Night Securities. That's all it is. It's the same thing. The same thing as what's his name? Ken Griffin.
Yeah.
And they're sitting here stealing money. The guy stole so much money, he bought a hockey team. He was an over-the-counter market maker. Now he's buying a hockey team. Oh, come on, these guys are stealing a lot, and they're using the loopholes. I put up stories from 2006, 7, everywhere. Pat Burns, I'm giving you the best of it. Go read it. I just put a story up there, naked short sellers in the games they play. Go read it. He used the same graphics from 2008 that guy's trying to use today in Forbes with the cartoons. He did it in 2008. The guy's a plagiarizer on top of everything else. Attacking MMTLP. And someone put a photo. As soon as that story was posted, the first 3 people that looked at it was the guy from Virtue and 2 other people that were short sellers, market makers, something like that. So they made sure that story got out, and they wanted to get it, and comment on it right away. They're like children. We caught them.
Yeah. How
the regulators and law enforcement hasn't broken down a door yet is just unbelievable.
Absolutely.
I tell everybody all the time. I says, listen, I have no fear because I know the sell tickets ain't coming to me. Right? People say to me all the time, aren't you afraid you're going to get arrested? I says, for what? For speaking my mind. It's freedom of speech. I can say what I want. Jeffrey Easton lends money out. Every company he lends money to gets wiped out. He just lent $4 million to this company, ID. ID is now gone, delisted, it's gone. How did Jeff Easton make money? He lost $4 million, you're telling me? Yeah, right. He shorted against it.
Oh, 100%.
got all his money out, and now it goes to zero, pays no taxes. Hey, well, who's better than us?
Mm.
Oh, we lost $4 million. He shows on paper. Oh, we were long. They were short over there, long over here. They're long 1 million shares, and they're short 200 million shares. I'll do that all day long. Show you on paper that I'm long the stock, like they say in finger motion. But down the road, they're short 200 million shares.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me. There's nothing else to say. Listen, it's a tough fight. These are game-changing ideas that I'm following for years now. I'm doing everything in our power to get these guys arrested. We know who the criminals are. What else can we say? I put a photo up of them burning down the facility with all the trade data in it. That's how crazy this is. They're burning down the facilities. And if you looked at the photo, the video, they burnt it down and they were taking it away while it was still on fire. How many times have you ever seen that done before?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Was that 2
I've
years
never
ago?
seen that. Excuse me?
That was 2 years ago, I think, after the AMC thing.
But yeah, the DOJ came out and said they're investigating these short sales. They burned down the facility in Chicago.
Yeah.
And not only that, they burned it, they were taking it away on fire. I never seen. What were they driving it down the road on fire? Where were they taking it?
So,
They wanted no one to make sure no one looked at that place.
yeah.
I'm just saying that just look at the things that are happening on the other side and stop looking at the public companies, the MULN. This poor guy, he raised money and he's gotten destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
He's destroyed. Now people, oh, he's a shithead, he's a crook. What's the difference what he is? He's standing there, he signs all the papers. At the end of the day, if they investigate it, if he did something wrong, he gets in trouble. End the conversation. But for right now, he's trying to, everything I told him to do, he's doing it a year later. I spoke with him last January. He's finally moving on things. But again, he's reversed himself to death. He killed all the investors. And that's what Wall Street does to everything. These CEOs need to do this stuff because they have to keep their companies going. You're fighting, sliding down a hill. What are you supposed to do? He tried. I'm against it, but I understand it why they do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just kept going on a rant. If you have any questions, just stop me and ask. I'm
no,
sorry.
you're great. There really is nothing too new. I mean, let's see. Somebody's asking about the assets. Do you think the Secret Service would grab those up? Asset forfeiture if the Secret Service busts them.
I don't know how they do that. I'm not law enforcement. I don't know. Listen, we're not talking about the local police here. This is the top of the government here. This is the top of the top.
Oh yeah.
Between secret. I mean, this is what's their. They said they get back to me in the first week of the year, so it's coming. What else can I say? I don't know what they're going to say.
Yeah.
If they take me away, I'm just going to bring my glove. I'll play third base on the softball team, and I'll bring my pickleball paddle. That's it. I don't care.
We'll make,
what are you going to do with me?
Shawshank Redemption 2 will be about you.
Yeah, I'll play third. I'm a good third baseman. I'll play third base, and I'll play pickleball. What am I going to say? My arm is still alive. I can gun you down, so that's it. What else can I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. All I know is my advice to the Secret Service is this. Just come out with a press conference and say to everyone, we're looking into the counterfeiting and naked shorting of the equity markets. Okay, if we catch you, you're going to jail just like a counterfeiter of a $20 bill. You're going to mandatory 10 years. That's how we're going to look at it. That's all they have to say. They can go on vacation. Just that statement will send chills. Guys like Sabby will be climbing over the wall trying to get out of here, that fat bastard. They'll be running, and because they know, they just say, we're going to track you down, and when we catch you, not only are we going to take your assets, we're going to put you in jail. You're worse than a counterfeiter with a $20 bill. You're counterfeiting financial instruments.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's the same destruction as a counterfeit 20. At least in the $20 bill, they put a yellow marker through it. In the stock market, no one does anything. Think of the SEC, how disgraceful. They look the other way. They paid out $27 million in whistleblower complaints, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put it up. I said, we've been whistleblowing for 5 years. I put the truck in front of your building 13 times.
In front of him when he just walks by.
How much more whistleblowing do we have to do? We called you up. We've done everything. Nothing. Zero.
Yep.
Hindenburg is calling up, getting investigations in 5 minutes. They short the stock, they write the report, and then they get paid by the SEC after they kill the companies.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about a moneymaker? They have the ultimate moneymaker. They're cashing out 3 times. We call up and we get crickets. I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody's asking if you have any kind of idea of what MMTLP could look like as a settlement.
Oh, listen. The people behind that are in a panic. The guys who got the company listed, they know who they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
FINRA tried to cover for them, right? They thought they can slip this by. Probably someone made the mistake of approving the symbol, whatever they did, whoever at that time. They listed it without John Berta's approval. I mean, so they know who did that. That's number one. Now you got the naked short on top of it. They're flooding the market with the counterfeit shares. They made a terrible mistake of shutting it down. All right? If they left it open, I think the stock would have settled probably about $1.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that, everyone's waiting for the short squeeze, knows that they have 2 days to get out. You talk about, no one knows what to do. It would have been crazy, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
If the shorts didn't buy any and it was all closing transactions, let's say they were going to close in 2 days, and everybody's looking for the bids. Where's the bids? Let me start selling some, and it just starts tumbling down. I think that it was a crucial mistake by FINRA, and it actually helps MMTLP.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because whenever you get your back to the wall on something, the shorts always seem to control it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. So by shutting it down, it was the best thing that happened. It was the worst thing that happened to those individuals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel bad for the people who got locked in. But it's actually the best thing that's happened for me and everybody else fighting naked shorts, because now you have a clear case, and now it's really busting the door down. And if anybody knows any representative or senator, please get them to sign the paper. It only helps. If we can get that thing to 100 people for them, it just keeps building momentum. John Berta told me I was going to introduce them to the Secret Service when they finally popped their heads up. And he told me he's going to be back on Charlie Payne. And I told him, some ideas what to say and cut it shorter and make more understanding of it. And so, he's on board. I mean, everybody's doing their part. What else can you say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I go on Twitter and I see these people writing shit. Get the hell out of here. I mean, the proof is here. Everybody knows what's going on. The cat's out of the bag. All we need is a regulator to step up and do the right thing. If they don't want to do the thing, we did the right thing. We went to enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
I have big holders calling companies up, demanding them to do things. I mean, look at the stuff we have to do on our side. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and
the most crazy part is that they know that this is all going on. They follow Twitter. They check in on YouTube. And I was just watching Dumb Money again today. Had in the background. I was working, and they had the guys they show. What's his face that owns the Mets. And
Stevie Cohen.
Yeah, Stevie Cohen. And he's watching the guys on YouTube and watching them do memes on Wall Street Bets and stuff, and they're talking about it. And I'm like, I know that's true. It has to be true that they're watching all that.
Oh, dude, listen, you don't understand. I was in the room when Stevie Cohen told, his buddies that his wife was leaving and he was marrying his maid. So I've been around them, all right? They're just regular people like we are. There's no, they trade numbers, they make money, and that's what they do. That's the game. But after that, he's not a drinker, he's not a party guy, he's a good guy, and he just makes a ton of money. But he lived on the edge for a long time. All these guys do. You can't. Izzy England that worked with my brother on the American Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
He was an option market maker. Now he's running $10 billion.
Mm.
And my brother said he would take the silver out of your teeth in your mouth. That's what a vulture he is. And he's got caught. They naked short. So people don't understand. They naked short on secondaries. Let's say Apple's are going to do a secondary. Goldman Sachs will call you up, Ace, and you say, okay, Ace, you're a hedge fund. Apple's doing a secondary. We're going to sell, 5 million shares. The stock is 200. We're going to do it at 190. Hey, put me in for 5. I'll take a million shares. That's what you would say.
Mm.
And what do? You go out there and you short the stock. That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
And you go out there and short the stock, and that's what you do. And then when the secondary comes, you buy it back, right? That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You buy it back, and you say, I sold it at 200. I bought it back at 190. And that's what happens. That's a secondary. That's them shorting a secondary. The rule is that you can't cover a short on an offering, and that's what Millennium got caught doing.
Mm.
But they all do it. And you say, okay, what's the big deal? Well, when they start shorting it, let's say the stock is 200, and let's say Millennium pushes it down to 193. The secondary is going to drop to 180 or 185. They're going to reprice it.
Mm.
So now the company loses $5 a share, and they have to give out whatever. They get $5 less per share that they're selling.
Yeah.
And the guy shorted it at 200, and all the other people did it. They pushed it down to 192, and they're buying it at 185. That's what they do. That's the damage.
Yeah. Wow.
So you could go look on Millennium Fund fine for naked short selling, covering on a secondary offering.
Okay.
I showed you the Uber IPO. They naked shorted that. I mean, who gives them the right to do this stuff? And that's what they do. And it's all slanted against you.
Yeah.
It's not just naked short selling of what we see here. It's what you see everywhere. It's all these different angles they do it through.
Can you give a quick rundown on what a secondary is? Somebody's asking.
Hold on, I got my dog barking.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah, so a secondary is, let's say, it's in the real world, most companies do a secondary. Small caps have to do these pipes or whatever they call it, an offering. So a company like Walmart, they want to raise money, so they sell 3 million shares at $200, and they get the proceeds of it. But the problem is brokers go out and solicit money managers if they want to buy into the secondary. Mm. Obviously, a great company like a Walmart and Apple, everybody's fighting to get to the piece of that. So Fidelity and all these big funds always take a big portion of it.
Gotcha.
But when it gets down to the $10 billion funds, not the $100 billion, the $10 billion funds, when they get the call, the trader on the desk is, hey, listen, we got a secondary in Walmart. Where's the stock at? 200. What are they going to do with that? About 190. How many shares can we get? That's the first thing they say. And they go, well, we'll put you in for 1 million shares. Yeah, that'll be great. They start selling it short at 200, 199, 198, 197, 196, until they sell 1 million shares. Mm. And then the offering comes. Let's say Goldman Sachs is doing the offering. Say, hey, we were going to do this at 190. They call Walmart up and say, listen, your stock has drifted down to 193 from 200. And they say, we got to do the offering at 185. And Walmart will say, oh, okay, just do it at 185. Meanwhile, the hedge funds drove it from 200. Let's say their average price, 200 to 193, they shorted it. Let's say their average is 195. Now they're buying it at 185. They're making $10 a share.
Wow. And this is all done behind the scenes, I'm guessing?
Just go read Millennium Fund. Yeah. It's easy. Google Millennium Fund, naked shorting. You see exactly what they do. Read the complaint. You see exactly what they did.
Okay.
It's easy. It's on the SEC site. Is the Englander. We know him, and that's what they do.
Okay.
They all do it. They would need 100 school buses to pick up everybody that does that one.
Jeez.
They all do it. They all do it. Remember, I'm a broker.
Yeah.
And I'm calling you, Ace, up. You're on a trading desk.
Mm-hmm.
you get the call from me and say, hey, we're going to do a secondary. This is Ham at Goldman. We're going to do a secondary in Walmart. And you go like this, okay, where do you look? Where do you think you're going to do the deal at? And go, well, we're going to do it about 190 because the stock's 200. How many shares can I get? Well, get you 1 million. No problem. I'm in. I'll buy 1 million at 190. You start selling it short, make it short. You knock it down. In 2 days, the deal goes up. Since the price goes down, Goldman lowers the deal to 185. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They do the same thing, but only in those companies they bounce back because they're big, strong companies.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And everybody wants a piece of them.
If Finger did a $4 million raise and it's turned their world upside down. They're fighting criminals, being accused of fraud, this, everything. What do we got to do with it?
Yeah.
Lynn signed the deal. Lynn told the company, listen, we spoke with the company. The company was saying that Lynn called up and didn't want to take back the money. And my friend put up $3.5 million at $10, got 350,000 shares. He paid 10 for 350,000 shares. That money was to go back to Lynn. Lynn refused to take the money back. Who lends money out and doesn't want to get paid back with the interest in full?
Exactly.
Because they were short the stock. They wanted the stock. They turned the loan into try to turn it into a convertible debenture.
Yeah, more.
They
valuable.
accused the company. They accused the company of raising money. And the company, because they want all the money to go to them. They want to make sure that they're the only pimp in town. You got to go with us, buddy. You can't go anywhere else. That's the type of games these guys are playing. Mm-hmm. And then they threatened to sue the company because they raised the money. The company says, we want to pay you back the money. What are you, crazy? What are you so crazy about? Then they say the company was trying to orchestrate a short squeeze. If they're long, like they say, who cares about a short squeeze, right?
Yeah.
And first of all, the company doesn't know his ass from his elbow about creating a short squeeze. Obviously, none of us know how to do it because we can't do it. We've been trying. We can't do it. How do you do it?
Yeah.
Somebody tell us how to do it. We don't know how to do it. Right? We can't do it without the help of the regulators, obviously, right?
Yeah.
You could basically, there's plenty of ways to trap them, but we trapped Lynn, and everything they've done, showing that we trapped a rat, you can hear them all screaming because they got caught, right?
Oh, yeah.
They don't like being called a criminal on Twitter. Well, every company they invested is basically worthless.
Yeah.
You tell me how you up 220% and everyone's wiped out. It's pretty easy. The Kramers, I have a complaint, and I'll try to get it to you, from 2012, where the Kramers were working with a bunch of other criminals and they got caught there. And that came from an attorney, sent it to me. Just so much. I'm like overwhelmed with,
Oh, sure.
I'm like,
I'd love to see that.
it's just too much. I can't remember them all.
Yeah.
I sent it to Richard in that legal advice. Maybe you can get him to talk about it if he pops up.
That'd be great.
He has that complaint, and it talks about Seth or Kurt Kramer in there. Part of the gang.
Okay.
These guys are just working. Go ahead.
But Lind has 1,000 long shares, Ham.
Yeah, they're not complaining about something.
Do you
Great.
Do you think it's possible they announced the dividend on the earning call in January?
I don't know.
Okay.
The big holders that I know have called the company up and demand that they do these things.
Gotcha.
I don't have that clout.
Yeah.
I can come up with the idea, but I don't have that clout.
Totally. Do you still have a timeline on going to South Korea?
I'm just going to wait till my son's got to get a surgery, so I have to wait for that to happen. That's going to be in the middle of January. So.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just some minor things, but it needs surgery. So.
Got it. Yeah. Let's see. I think did I have one more? I was going to ask you. You've been around. The going into 2024 with everything going on, does this look similar to what it was looking at the turn of 08, 09, or even 19 to 20 before those crashes?
Oh, I don't know how the market's staying up. That's a different story.
Yeah.
You heard it from a gentleman. He said the trucker said there was no movement of no cargo. There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. the government must be flooding. In D.C., I'm sure things are doing great because they're just printing money and giving it to all the defense contractors. I'm sure that's, around the Beltway, I'm sure
Sure.
things are like booming. That's the sign. But everywhere else, everyone's just doing shitty jobs,
Oh yeah.
going, I don't see a boom anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And just think about, listen, everyone on the call, we all buy stocks, all right? Like GDC turned down on me. When GDC gets back to 384, I'm going to sit there. If it hesitates, my reason to be there was for a big swing.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I look at it and say, you know what? Just like you said, maybe I move on. I'm not crazy about it. I have no idea what's going on. Let me break even and I'll move along.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they get back to break even, I break even, and they just explode.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just drift, and I made the right call.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding why you're in a stock so you understand how to play it when it does move is super important.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm flying blind in GDC. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I know my friend owns 1 million shares, someone that I know, and that's all I know. Am I going to call him up and say, hey, the stock is down, what do I do? And he's going to look at me and say, I own 1 million shares. I'm down, almost 1.5 million.
Mm.
What am I supposed to say to the guy? I can't say anything.
Exactly.
So you just sit there and you bite the bullet and say, okay, you wanted to hear the information. You wanted to play. I told you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, so I'm a big boy. So now I got to sit and do like you're doing. I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would just blame
But a lot
myself.
of times when they break even,
Mm-hmm.
so here it is in finger. Let's say finger runs to 10. Do I bail out because it's at 10? I waited. This is it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know because of the short that
Yes.
10, once it goes through 10, is going to blow past everything.
Oh, totally. I
So,
mean, yeah.
so that's a different look on how a situation is.
Yeah.
I've studied it for 5 years already.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different than like a GDC. I have no idea when it starts running. Where do you get out? I have no idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree with that. What
And
about
so that's why I'm saying that when you understand the situations, you can sit there and say, okay, I always tell you when a stock runs, make a
Yeah.
sale so you get your money off the table.
Sure,
That's
absolutely.
number one.
Yeah.
If you're paying 45 cents for GTII and it runs to $2 and you got 10,000 shares, you sell 3,000, you get all your money back, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you make at $2, you sell 3,000, you made 6, you bought 10,000 at 50 cents, that's 5,000. You say I'm up 1,000 and I still own 7.
Yeah.
That's the smart way to play, and then you can let it run.
Oh yeah, for sure. What do you?
That's how you make. And that's how you make real big money doing that.
Yeah. What do you what do you know about Wolf as far as its shares?
Listen, I met with Wolf. I watched their presentation. I was at a presentation with about 100 people, and management spoke. These guys designed MARA. They also designed RIOT. So these guys are the original Bitcoin miners.
Mm-hmm.
They took it to the next level, and they turned it into getting nuclear power versus the other power that these guys have. These guys may have more Bitcoin miners, but for example, I may be off a little bit on the numbers, so don't hold me to it. But I think they said they make money at Bitcoin $2,000, maybe $3,000, something like that.
Wow.
Mara and Riot make money at Bitcoin starting at they need Bitcoin over 16,000.
Wow.
So just look at the difference.
It's huge.
It is a huge thing, and that's the key. And they're locked into the lowest rate using nuclear power, where these other guys are chasing the power supply sources all over the place.
Wow. Yeah, that's massive.
So their power cost may be 17,000 now. And if you read the Wolf thing, they're locked in at Bitcoin 2,000.
Yeah. Wow.
So these guys may be printing more Bitcoin, but their cost is way higher.
Okay.
So that's what I got out of it. And I spoke with these guys. One guy, these guys were building nuclear power plants.
Yeah.
It's about the whole thing about it is energy. So I sat down and listened to it. I tried to get them to do a special dividend, and they were looking at me like their eyes were crossed because these guys are building nuclear power plants, not didn't understand anything about short selling in the equity market.
Mm-hmm.
our friend, our good partner, a guy that we know, he helped with them, and they paid off Yorkville. So they paid off all their debt. They paid off the toxic lender, and the toxic lender is Yorkville. Are they the ones that are holding it down, selling all the shares all day, trying to hold it down? I think so. If you look at it, they paid them off.
Mm-hmm.
So again, yeah, I don't know. These guys are, everything that's massive like this is tied to a toxic note.
Yeah.
Yorkville paid off, Wolf paid off Yorkville, and they were already in it, driving it down. So now they're trapped. So what do? They press their bet. And it's the same thing with finger motion, the same pattern, right?
Oh, sure.
They paid off their debt. They sold so many. So what they say, fuck it, keep selling.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. That's all I can see going on with it. I hope it goes to the moon. They told me Bitcoin was going to 50,000. I put it up about that ETF thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they believe that the Wolf will be way higher.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
that's but that moment of doubt, like when you see it at 3 today and it drops real quick, and you start scratching your head. But it was just 4 with Bitcoin at 36,000. Bitcoin is almost 44,000. So there's $10,000 more, and the stock is at barely holding on to 3. People are knocking it down, selling it like
Oh,
crazy.
it's crazy. It was trying to move up. Yeah. I was watching it today. Yeah. It tried to move up.
Does anybody do math? I can't figure it out, And that's where the problem is, where the moment of doubt comes in. And people, if I owned it at 2 and you see it struggling at 3, you say, let me get out. You turn around, it's 3.25. That's what happens. It happens all the time.
Trade 54 million shares today and barely moved.
Yeah, 54 million yesterday. I put it up as the SECs. Anyone think this is strange? 100 million shares in 2 days.
Tread water.
And the stock is basically up 15 cents.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever it was. Up a dime, up a nickel, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Everybody is in a 20-cent range. It trades 54 million shares.
Yeah. You think GTII has a good chance in Q1? Get back to around the $2 range?
I think I said it 1,000 times. Finger motion is going to pop first. Mm. And then I think when finger motion starts running, I think GTI will be somewhere between $2 and $3. Then I think that's when the fun begins, because let's say, I'm just making this up. Let's say finger motion's 500. Mm-hmm. People are selling out of there. I can guarantee the people I know are going to be back in GTII paying $2 or $3.
So many people.
If I make $500, spending $3 to buy another stock is not going to be a big deal. So if I pay 3, 2, when it starts running to 5, 7, 10, then it becomes very risky, right, to chase it.
Oh, sure.
So I'm just saying, but anything below 3, to me, if we're selling finger motion at 5, what's the difference? You might as well, you're going to have a capital gains tax, so you might as well buy $3 stock and believe in that one if I believe in it, right?
Uh-huh.
But I don't have the money I'm stuck. I can't do anything else. I can't move. So if you can say, what are you doing? I'm doing nothing. I can't. I wish I could buy more of a 42-cent stock, but I don't have the money.
Yeah. No.
I think I have 17 cents in my account, to be exact.
Busy Brand says that Ham.
He's still around again?
Yeah, he's asking for a Cadillac, but he's also saying that, do you see how the rats come out when the open letter came out with 74 signatures? He says Gasbag, Forbes, Dougie, all coming out.
I said it a little while ago. When you're over the target, that's what they said. You get the most flack, right? It's from the World War II pilot. They're trying to shoot us down. That's everything. To just keep stay the course. Don't fight with them. Just keep showing them the pictures of all the senators or the representatives, whoever they are, who signed this thing, and just get one new one a day. Have everybody busy. Have everyone in your network. Have a call. Who are we going to target tomorrow?
Yeah.
If you can get someone on the ground to go into their office and present it, that'll be great. If not, have people call that representative up, have people send emails to that representative, and just bomb them, but you send over hundreds of letters and this, have them to sign. Shame them into signing it.
Yeah.
Get it to 100. Do one at a time. Stop with the shotgun. Pick one guy and attack him. And go for it.
Yeah.
And just keep going. Add one at a time. Doesn't make a difference. Democrat, Republican.
Sure.
Get them all to sign. That's
Absolutely.
all you have to do.
Exactly.
Focus on it. Don't pay attention to Doug. All you have to say to the Doug at whatever his name is at Virtue, hey, Doug, look at all the people that are signing. That's all you got to say.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
You don't have to fight with them. Just keep showing them. Just keep printing that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy from Forbes is a putz.
Oh, yeah.
I called him a crackhead. Get lost. What are you, crazy?
He had pronouns in his bio. That told me all I needed to know.
Listen, they're all doing the same thing. What is the thing doesn't even trade.
Yeah, right.
And this guy's work.
Yeah.
And what are you writing a story about? For what reason?
Yeah, Forbes is writing a story a year later. It's not even trading it to bat. It makes no sense.
If I was the reporter and say, "Oh, I got this story, you're going to break it." What's going on? Is it trading? No.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing? Oh, they're talking to senators. What's my story going to do? Well, you got to stop them from talking to senators. You're going to save all these senators from being embarrassed. You're going to sit there and say, as a reporter, I'm going to sit there and say, "You nuts, get out of here."
Yeah.
I'm wasting my time with this. What do I care about those people?
Yeah, especially a financial
Or
magazine.
they're saying to them, "Hey, here's $200 grand. Write a story. Try to get these guys to stop this thing going down in Washington, because if it gets exposed, we're all dead." That's what I see.
Exactly.
And I feel terrible that yourself and William and Ace and I just think about we're all caught. And listen, I didn't drag everybody into this thing. I appreciate everybody fighting. But, you put your time in, you work all day, and you're here at night doing a conference call.
Yeah.
I'm on a conference call and missing my football games because I want to make sure everybody understands what goes on, so I don't have to do this all day long.
Well, I mean...
during the day, my days are pretty quiet now because I'm yapping all night trying to help anybody I can.
Yeah.
All right? I keep saying it's the same stupid pattern. For example, just look at the trading pattern. Today, Finger Motion traded up to 436
mm-hmm.
on 170,000 shares, moving nice and easy, nice and slow, nothing major. And then they came out and they sold 170,000 shares to drive it down.
Yeah.
I put it up there, the bar, you could see the red bars, just ruthless. Boom, 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 just trying to mark it down. Now, you sit there and say, well, 200,000 shares, selling it down. 200,000 shares, you lose 25 cents on it. For those who can't do the math, that's 50 grand.
Mm-hmm.
They lost $50,000 just trying to mark it down.
It's wild.
They could have sold it at 430, right? 440. Yeah. They'd rather sell it at 410, 405, and put it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it got there, it stopped. There was no more selling after that. It stopped. They parked us in this location for some reason at 408, 409, and it sat there for 2.5 hours in the same spot all day, going back and forth on these stupid little trades all day.
Mm.
It's the same stupid patterns all the time. Again, if they thought they can win, they let the stock go higher. They can't let it go higher because once it gains momentum, they get run over. That's it. That's the game. And that's what broke out GameStop. When GameStop broke out, all the big hedge fund guys, like the guy from Bed Bath & Beyond, what was that guy's name? Cohen, yeah. Right, Cohen came in. He brought the guy from The Big Short came in, and all the other buddies came in.
Yeah.
And all the big hedge funds came in and said, let's go get the short. And they all did it.
Yeah.
And then they blamed, and they gave the credit to that kid, Roaring Kitty, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's in charge of the Reddit crowd. And what did they do? The hedge funds that made all the money walked away laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they do in bringing Congress? They brought that kid, whatever his name is, Roaring Kitty. They brought him in.
Yeah.
For having he orchestrated it. That's who they got in.
I gotta say that movie creeps me out about how similar his situation is to mine as I'm doing videos. Like, did you watch it yet? The movie?
No, I haven't.
You might be interested just to see what's true and what's not.
Well, listen, the Big Short to me is the most brutal of them all.
Oh
And
yeah.
when I went to the movie with my son, I remember him walking out and people were clapping. I said,
Hmm.
This really happened. These idiots think it's entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, it's very different. These people don't understand it. And I
Oh
said,
yeah.
when you're clapping because it was an entertaining movie, this really happened. People got
Exactly.
destroyed,
Oh yeah.
and they could, and people didn't understand it. So I don't know
Hmm.
what dumb money's about, but
It's just about
again,
the people involved in GameStop from the it shows the hedge fund side, like shows Ken Griffin, Cohen, the Robin Hood guys, and then it shows Roaring Kitty, his life, and then some other people they randomly picked out who bought the stock and just kind of give their stories. So it's interesting. It's not as good as The Big Short, but it's interesting.
listen, I've been in the room and watched these guys lose money. You know, I've seen it before. It's
Hmm.
you know, it's a non-event. They lose money. They just keep going on. They get sick and they move on and they go back and play. The stakes are so big. When I was around Stevie Cohen, he wasn't swinging like this. This is
Yeah.
like major. This is like really swinging now. He's funding probably, that guy from I forget the guy who was from Merlin Capital. I think he was funding him.
Mm.
Him with Ken Griffin. These guys are all working together.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Between the two of them, you're talking $50 billion in
Yes. Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how do you beat that? Once the pools of money band together, that was the end because that's when they allowed all this. Everyone's banding together. How do you
Hmm.
beat these guys on the short side?
Yeah.
They probably got 10-to-1 leverage, maybe 20-to-1 leverage. They got $50 billion. Think about what they can do.
Yeah.
And all it is stock settlement. Susan Trimbat put up a thing about Canada trying to get, guaranteed delivery, for mandatory buy-ins. Go read her, Susan Trimbat on Twitter. She put something about Canada. So now we have Canada trying to clean up the unsettled trades, right? You got Thailand banning it. You got South Korea banning it. And the SEC doing nothing. They won't even say the words.
Oh yeah. Well, the biggest problem's here. I mean, it'll blow up the
Yeah, I'm
market
just saying.
if they
It's
ever.
gonna. That's so now to everybody here, you can either sell your stock, move along, never come back again. Because I would advise you never to come back again.
Yeah.
I would never. And I don't like to say it, but like let's say GTI it's a speculative play. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
But out of all the plays, if you're not playing the market, stocks like, Finger Motion's a $4 stock, but, fundamentally it's worth more. So to me, it's risky, but it's the safest one of them all.
Yeah.
I look at it and say, okay, no matter what happens, this thing's going to be $5 to $10 no matter what happens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Probably
Yeah.
high. Yeah, I always thought it was going to be a lot higher, but I'm just being conservative.
Yeah. Totally.
So if we can't win, Finger Motion's going to win anyway.
Yeah.
If we can't win, I don't know how GTI can survive the onslaught of these guys. The stock is staying here because we're going to win, because they can't knock it down.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I've seen this whole time being here. I mean, nobody sells, and so many people own this stock and are still buying. It's just unless the company totally pulled the rug out from under us, we're not going to lose this. There's just no way.
But I'm just saying that's how I look at it, saying, okay,
Yeah.
they've tried everything.
Mm-hmm.
They slaughtered MULN off the face of the planet. This one, that one, Root. I could the list CELU. They just slaughtered them all,
Mm-hmm.
and yet we're still standing. So that's how you got to think about that for a second. It's standing for a reason because they can't give it a knockout punch.
Exactly.
And every day we're getting closer. And if you're reading what's going on Twitter with the MMTLP and the SEC and everybody upside down here,
Yeah.
I don't think I would be short a 42-cent stock.
No.
Because if you're wrong, like no matter who's short GTII, let's say the Kramer's Alpine, wherever they're parking it, right? What's going on in DC? Those guys can't control.
Yeah.
That's out of their control.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's putting the fear of God in all these characters.
It's got to be.
Because what's going on in DC with MMTLP, if that gets exposed and it shows that there's 600 million counterfeit shares in that stock, and the people have been defrauded, and it's taken a year. You're talking about earth-shattering stuff here,
Oh yeah.
and I do believe that that's going to come to a head,
Yeah.
and that's what's going to make all these stocks go.
Well, and if
So
they're
I'm
gonna
with
do
you on
it,
that.
now's the time because the market is in such. I mean, the economy is such a bad place. If they're gonna let the market explode, they have an excuse to let it happen now. Just
I
like in
said it. I
2020.
said, I said it 1,000 times that they should do that.
Well, I think it's coming next year. I mean,
Listen,
everything.
if I got a windmill, if I've had a windfall,
Yeah.
I would fix my deck. I need to fix this. I need to fix that. I got about 40 little projects I need fixing, that probably need $100,000 worth of money to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I made a couple 100,000, I'll spend 100 in a minute. So I'll keep the economy going myself.
Exactly.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, I have 100 things to fix.
Oh, sure.
So again, I agree with you, but I don't know why they don't do it. If I'm like this, imagine everybody else making 25, 100, 200,000 that never had the money.
Oh,
All of a sudden, you got plenty of money.
Oh, yeah.
You could pay for your kids' college or this. But just think about what they could do. But instead, they let Jeffrey Easton, that fat bastard, steal our money so that he can go on vacation in the Greek Isles. That ain't happening. I'm not letting him get away with it.
Yeah.
And his billionaire friend bragging that he's up 220% while they slaughter companies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, you know what? Let's see all your records, how you're up 220% and everybody else is getting wiped.
Yeah. I just saw that they're getting ready. The Fed's pulling their bank lending program in March again.
Right.
And that's, I mean, to me, that looks like a bad
the banks will get killed again.
Yeah.
The banks will get killed.
And that's got to affect the market too, right?
Yeah, well, they'll all go up.
Yeah.
Listen, everything you think, it's like everything we think is wrong.
Yeah.
You think we all say the same thing. We think the market's going to go down. It just keeps going up.
I know.
Every day.
Crazy.
And it's killing the shorts and real companies like in Walmart and those guys. They get slaughtered, right?
Yeah.
And they keep driving it up, but that does what? It drives up the Dow. It drives up your pension accounts because most people have those type of stocks in their pensions.
Sure.
And it looks great, and everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they keep manipulating it up.
Yeah.
And then when the shit hits the fan, when they give the keys to the castle back to Donald Trump, the market will collapse because it just can't be saved at that point.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's what everyone's afraid of. But no one knows when the music stops.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been in it when the music stopped a few times.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I like asking you about.
When you get caught, you faint. Trust me, when it's bad and you bought, hey, I just bought this stock, the market was up 100, all of a sudden it's down, down 1,000. You're like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
You bought 10,000 shares and you're down 10 points, and you say, holy shit, what happened?
Yeah. Do you think this looks to you? Does everything fundamentally look worse to you than 2008?
Well, the banks basically they were attacking the banks. They went after the brokerage firms. I think this is 100 times worse.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I have no one I know is doing anything. I mean, the business-wise, it's everything's drying up.
Mm-hmm.
We just switched our phones from AT&T to Verizon to save money, right?
Uh-huh.
And they're giving us free iPhone, whatever they are, 15s, whatever it is.
Okay.
I mean, they're just tossing them at you. Everyone used to have to pay $1,000 for an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
We got them for free, and we saved $100 a month.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I'm looking at it saying, "You tell me how things good are going, right?" Right? We used to all buy these phones, right, for $800, whatever it was, paid off over time.
Sure.
Now you don't pay anything. You just come in, hey, give us your old phones, get a new phone, and we'll join Verizon. Okay, we're on board.
Yeah.
We had iPhone 12. Now we all have iPhone 15s, and whatever it means, we're here. Okay, but look how fast that changed that whole game, right?
Oh, sure.
So I mean, so if Apple and these guys are all sucking wind, it's got to go down the road.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Well, that's why I look at these like The Big Short. This is kind of that counter market play. That's why I think GTI and Finger are such a safe play because there's just no
Oh
way.
no, it's definitely listen. It's tough on a daily basis to sit here
Hmm.
and watch a stock do nothing.
Yeah.
And that's why in the middle of the day I left and went and go hit the pickleballs in the rain because I
Hmm.
can't do it. I'm wasting my time staring at a screen. I'm not trading anything else. So I said,
Yeah.
let me get the hell out of here. I get my energy and I come back at night and I feel I feel a lot better. At least I
Yeah.
did something.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. It
All
sucks.
right.
Sucks staring at them.
Anything else?
I really let me double check real quick here. Most people just talking. Not legal said that he tried to. What did he say? Here it is. He specifically got refused a deposition from a Forbes reporter.
He really is a ball buster.
Yeah.
Ask him about that. Ask him about that complaint with the Kramer in it. I sent him an old one from 2012. If he had a chance to dissect that, maybe he could tell us about what a wonderful man the Kramer is, and what gang he was in, and what they were trying to defraud people about that they were charged with. Maybe he can put that up in a brief so we can all get a look at it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Not if you're on there, you heard him. You can thumbs up if you want to do that.
I started reading that legal document. I fell asleep in 3 minutes. That's not my thing.
I can't read that stuff either.
Yeah.
Somebody just asked why do you think so many other stocks seem to be squeezing but not Finger and GTII?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, you got to remember these stocks have. I know nothing about these other names.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these names, like a Wolf, it's probably got an algorithm on it that's doing all that crazy volume back and forth all day.
Mm.
ALT is another one with the crazy volume, with a algorithm back on it, back and forth all day. The naked shorts that have the benches are a different game.
Yeah.
It's a very different game. I think it's less algorithm and it's more, shorting against the debenture. But when you get them trapped, you could listen. Just look at the trading in finger motion. I got to 436 today, and the next 2 hours they did everything to manipulate it down to 405 or 407.
I just killed it.
What was the battle for? What were they trying to do? They're trying to discourage us and get us to sell it.
Yeah.
The last day, tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's the last day for tax selling. You can do it up to the last day. I posted that. Everyone was yelling at me. It's got to be T+2. It's not. It's the last day. You can sell it tomorrow. So if anybody is tax selling, you could get out. Either one.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that once that's done. What are they trying to do? I think that's what they were trying to do in Finger today, trying to push it down to get some people to say, I had enough, let me sell my shares.
Sure.
Just like you said, just like you did in GDC, right? That's the game plan, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They discourage it, make people bail on it, you lose 50 cents and you move on. That's
Yeah.
$1, whatever you lost. I got it. That's what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the same pattern. That's what they're doing in GDC. It was up to 550, and it's been drifting, and with no support, it just drifts, and they just sell 200 shares, and they drop it quick, and you sit there and look, it was 260, now it's 250, and it just looks awful.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. I mean, the game plan is to discourage you from owning stocks and have them all drift lower. That's what they do.
Definitely.
And there's so many stocks and so many different games going on. I can't follow them all, so follow your own. But I can guarantee you, unless your stock breaks and runs, you'll get stuck in these little ruts.
Sure.
And the difference between Finger and GTII and all the other stocks is that I think the people that are behind Finger Motion and GTI are a strong group of individuals, and like everybody here,
Yeah.
we're all fighting to make it work.
Yeah. Are your buddies still bailing on Wolf at $3?
No.
No.
I tried. I tried to get them to sell. I wanted them to sell so they could buy Finger, but
Sure.
they said it acts too well. I'm like, oh, okay. What am I gonna? I can't tell them.
Yeah.
Even a blind man can tell the stock acts great. I mean, what am I going to tell you to sell it?
It does look
Hurry
good
up!
right now.
Hurry up! Get out of this stock that has potential to run another $10. Hurry up! Why am I running to sell it? They look at it like, hey, I got a great price on this. We bought millions of shares. Why would I dump it? You know.
Well, that's why I left GDC. I just wanted to be in something that was moving.
Yeah, I can't get them to dump it to go by finger. That was my
Hmm.
game plan. But I just, I just felt that it wasn't right. I'm with you. I think it's going higher.
Yeah, it looks good. I got one asking, you think, and I think this is an easy answer, but I'm going to ask it anyways. You think on finger they're scared of it breaking five again to keep the institutions out?
Oh, they're definitely afraid of it. I told you, momentum is a killer. That's
Yeah.
it.
Hmm. Um, do you think that?
But the clock is ticking every day that they can't break us. We're getting closer to good things happening on our side now.
Oh,
So
for
all
sure.
right, we went through the quiet. Listen, we went through all of December quiet
Hmm.
period, right?
Yeah.
We went through the tax selling season, and they still can't knock us out.
Yeah. I know. That's
We've
pretty amazing.
exposed
Actually,
we've
we've barely moved all month.
we exposed their capybara guy, right?
Hmm.
We got that already. Now
Yeah.
Mark Brazil's on top of it, so we got good lawyers on top of it, and you're moving along. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, I consider with the market up as much as it is this month, and the fact that they couldn't hammer us down more, just a huge win.
Right.
They got to be scared. With enforcement meeting in January, you think if they move, will it move the stock fast? If they make a move,
If say it again.
if law enforcement finally makes a move on
Oh
Lynn
God,
after meeting with you, well, yeah, we'll run
half of,
fast.
half of you're gonna faint. That's what's gonna happen.
I like that.
It's the truth.
Yeah. I got a last question
One
for you.
knock on the door. Just remember this: out of all, there's 10,000 public companies, whatever the number is, right?
Sure. Yeah.
The knock is going on the door of the people that are short finger first.
Hmm.
I'm pointing. Everything is pointing towards finger
Yeah.
because it's an easy, in real time stock to prove the crooks.
Mm.
And you say, why not GTI? Well, we just got the capybara report.
Uh-huh.
We had the company hired the lawyer.
Yeah.
The lawyer exposed them. They defaulted. They're from Brazil. They're doing it offshore now. It's pretty easy that who are these people? Obviously, we've been pointing the finger that they're counterfeiters and terrorists. There's an example of someone from Brazil manipulating our markets. The stock lost 150 million in market cap on that assault.
Mm.
You can't. It's all documented, very easy to read, and it points the finger straight at somebody.
Yeah.
Now, just go follow the sell tickets to see where the money's going. That's all you have to do. It's right there.
Wow. Yep. Exactly.
And I'm sure Lynn, if they get the knock on the door, will be shredding everything they can.
Oh yeah.
They'll be burning that building like the guys in Chicago did at that other place.
That still blows my mind.
It's unbelievable. They were taking it away on fire. I watched that thing 50 times. I can't believe it. They're putting this stuff in the back of the trucks on fire.
Yeah.
Where were they taking it? On fire. I would have loved to get video of those trucks driving down the road on fire and people looking at it saying, hey, your truck's on fire, right?
Yeah.
No one said anything about that.
Oh yeah, I know.
And it was snow all over the place. So it was on fire and they couldn't even put it out. That's the craziest part. I've seen fires in Brooklyn where the buildings burned down and no one moves a soul. Nothing moves until they clean it, put it all out. Nothing happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I remember a place that made linens. And it was like, they made tablecloth, linens, napkins, high-end stuff, and the place burnt down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the roof collapsed, everything, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And basically, they wet it for days, and then they come with bulldozers and take it away after a bunch of days.
Mm.
This thing was on fire. They took it away. If you don't think there's something wrong with Wall Street, just go look at that picture again. It's just remarkable. The thing is on fire.
So,
and they're taking it away. I don't even know where they probably sent it to the moon. Where'd they hide it? They just took it away. They didn't want a piece of paper to be found.
Yeah, exactly. They can't risk it.
That's how crazy it was. They took it all away. That just shows you how deep this is and the cartel that's involved here. And they're stealing from everyone.
Yeah.
You think Epstein's list is going to be bad. Wait to see the names when they catch all these people doing it. right? That's what's going to happen. Oh, he did it. I did it. He did it. Oh, that's why you're running billions of dollars now, because you showed windfalls of 220% every year.
Yeah.
Anybody making 220% returns is considered like 100 times better than Warren Buffett, right?
Oh,
10 times
yeah.
better than
Easy.
those guys.
Easy.
And no one ever knew how much money they made until that guy in Australia opened his mouth, right? He put it right in the quote on the front page of the Australian newspaper. I'm up 220% in my Lynn Global Fund. Oh, thank you very much. That was what that guy said. Think about how he feels doing that.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
All right, listen, I'm going to go watch the football
Yeah,
game.
get some rest.
I don't need rest, but I need to watch the football game. I like doing that.
All right, well, have a good
Anyway,
night.
listen, have a great night. And listen, my son, we looked at you at the Abe Lincoln hat. We like it.
Oh, you like that one? You like that look? I might bring it back.
I better. All right, listen, have a great day. Thank you.
Have a good night. Bye. All right, that was a treat. That was a good conversation. All right, I'm not going to head out yet, guys. I've got some other stuff I want to cover. So if you want to stick around, I know some of you probably just came for Ham once you heard his voice, and that's fine. I get it, but there's more to talk about. So if I missed anything, I'm sorry. He talks and he's got great answers, and Ham likes to talk about, really break stuff down. So if I missed something, I'm sorry. You can ask me. I'll do my best to answer. I know most of what Ham's answers would be because I've listened to him enough. So that's helpful. Hey, I see you. Yeah, my wife saying hey. But let me go through some of this stuff real quick. Oh, there's Maximus again. All right, so this is what's coming up, guys, in March. Remember, the Fed is ending their program here, and the reserves shifting to big banks. So, oops, this is out right here. There we go. Let's put that back in the frame. This I do think, even though, like Ham was saying, it's so manipulated right now. All this stuff could happen, and it still doesn't do what we want it to do. Doesn't matter. Eventually, the dam breaks. Eventually, you put so much straw on the camel's back that there's finally one that breaks it. I think this could be what does it. You guys saw what happened last year with the banks. Imagine that accelerating at 5 to 10 times. It could really, really push stuff out. Donna, you're pulling for who? Yeah. Oh man, Ham's energy is unbelievable. I love it. We need that though. We need it. I mean, we want to be this far without a guy like him doing that. So it's incredible. Over here, we got Zero Hedge again reporting bank bailout fund usage soars to another record high, 2023. Look at this. Look at this spread right here. This is regional banking in the program, and just the money that just poured out, and now how much they're at zero now, and this bumped up. This is completely unsustainable. This is why they're going to end it in March. Now imagine what this is going to do to it. It's just, again, this is why I think 2024 is our year. I mean, Ham said it as well. If they do let it go all the way to the election, if they're able to prop it up that high for that long, I agree with him. I agree that if Trump gets in, or Biden wins, which I just don't see happening, but when and if the election's over, no matter who gets in, they'll finally let it happen, because this has to happen at some point. They have to correct it. I don't think it makes it that far. I don't. And that's why I think we're going to run much sooner. And a lot of this coming up in March is why I think it could be Q1. And so just looking to 2024, those of us in this position, you heard Ham say it too. Ham knows it much better than me. He's been around the markets for decades. And I'm just a guy who's taught myself stuff over the last few years and then sat under people like him learning. And I see this. I can see this. I can see that we have this big short opportunity. And Ham says it's a no brainer that GTI and Finger are literally safe positions to be in if this goes down. So 2024, guys, will be our year when it's not the year for the others. All these people in the big stock market, all that. I mean, God, I wish we had a way to get out that information, but nobody who trusts a 401k is going to listen to us, right? It's impossible to break that. They have to see it. And that's the hardest part. It's like so many people who still believe so many lies out there that, those of us who are awakened to all this crazy stuff, most of you in my audience, you know how it is. It's like you can't just stumble upon it, and that's what's going to be so frustrating. So I hate to see a lot of people are going to get hurt when this all happens, but fortunately for us, I believe a lot of us are going to thrive, and that we'll be able to help those around us. Goodwill, you're off Twitter. You gotta get you back on, man. When the levee breaks, shorts will have no place to stay. That's absolutely right. Vince says he comes for the economic updates. Nothing going to happen when Z2 plays until Secret Service announced investigation. We'll see about that. I do think it's not only the Secret Service that will do it. I think it's market forces can make this happen. I think it could be at some point they're going to run out of money on their side. They have to. They're struggling. Shorts lost $180 billion between November and December overall. At some point they're gonna run out. Here's reserves versus risk. You see the spread usually. The reserves is the blue line. Usually the reserves are up to help balance the risk. And at this point, you see the reserves way down here. This was June, July. Okay, we came back up a little bit, and now the spread's there again. Right after this happened is when the market started going down. And again, I think that's coming in where the reserve's going to come from this time. You know, where are they going to come from? Finance lot, always great. The way he breaks stuff down. He says, telling you, the market sold off the first week of January 2020 before heading higher. Remember, 2020, we came in, the economy was great. 2019, everything seemed fine. There was some issues with the repo markets and all that in 2018. But in general, our debt was much lower. Manufacturing was coming back. There was a lot of reason to be extremely excited about 2020. Yet, they knew COVID was coming. There's no doubt about it. And they used it for tanking the market so they could clear a lot off their books and reset some things. But here it is right here. I mean, markets sold off first week of January 2020 before heading higher. Well, what did they do? They tanked it early January, goes back up to get everybody back in, and then crash in March. Obviously, they had COVID as a cover. I don't think they need that cover this time. I think that's just going to happen. And I think it's going to happen when banks start collapsing. Polly, on everyone you tell about the economy crashing and finger GT, I think you're nuts. Yeah, I know, man. Me too. There's a few people who listen. My best friends understand because they've all been following this stuff forever. But if I even go a step outside of those best friends to my next row of friends who are like good friends, but not the inner circle, they think I'm nuts, you know. I love my wife. She's the most amazing person in the world. But even she's like, I don't know. She doesn't want to even pay attention to this stuff. She's just trusted me to handle it if it all does go down. But she doesn't want to think about it, even if it's possible. She knows it could be possible because of what we've been through with COVID and stuff in recent years. But, you know, nobody wants to think about this. They don't. They want to pretend everything's fine. They want to hear Jim Cramer telling them we're hitting a soft landing. They want to believe it. And so, you know, we choose what we want to believe. You pick a story, and if that story validates you want to stick with it. And it's very hard to break that cycle. Thomas, what happened to GTI going first in a trip to South Korea? Ham said tonight he's still planning on South Korea, but his son has a surgery in January 1st. So after that, he's still planning on going there. As far as GTI going first, look, man, his finger flipped it this year, got in a stronger position. It's been in that stronger position for a while. Could it flip again? Absolutely. And I think GTI is closer to flipping it than maybe Ham does. But and obviously he probably knows more than I do. But my gut just tells me that GTI is not as far back as we think. But yes, Finger just has better fundamentals and stuff right now. How are they up 209%? Who's up 209%, Vince? Oh, you're talking about Lind. Well, Finger's not their only stock, and that's a guy bragging, so we don't know if that was up. Plus, that was back before all these shorts were losing money the last few months. Ryan, do I think Univest is going to play a role of any of this? No, I absolutely do. I think Univest is a part of making Finger much stronger through deals they're going to help them get. Is Hammy with law enforcement first week of 2024. When do I think they'll make the move? I don't know, man, Ramon. Honestly, I think that it's very possible they move quickly after they meet with Ham, if they're moving at all. And we got to hope and pray that they saw enough to make them want to move, and that they're not, that the Secret Service is not beholden to somebody enough to be pulled off. Like I could definitely see that with the FBI. I could definitely see that with local law enforcement. But my hope is that the Secret Service, which I've always heard is still the most free of corruption of all law enforcement, that I just got to hope that that's still true. WV, is it me or is the enthusiasm buzz for GTI evaporated? I think enthusiasm has slowed for sure. They just haven't had anything super exciting happen in months, like any really big news. But I'll say this, the people in it are true believers and they're holding. So I don't think it's going to take much to really get a push on GTI again. I really don't. People are just looking for an excuse. And once they get that excuse, watch. What's up, US1? Apollyon. Yeah, you get it. Goodwill says, a lot of people are just down from looking at their brokerage balance. I sold half my GTI December 3rd to capture the loss. Big gamble. I've been sweating this whole time. Are you sweating that'll go back up? Tom, seems like law enforcement should be going after GTI because already has a record date. I agree with you, but they're going to go. It might be easier for them to go after a NASDAQ stock. I don't know. I don't know what the thinking is behind that, honestly. When can you see my wife with you? I don't think she wants to show her face. Just don't. She's got a shy behind the camera. Goodwill, you'd love to see GTI at 30 next week when your washable window expires. I mean, sure. It's a great time to accumulate. I mean, like I said, I was able to get a little bit at 40 today. I didn't have much, but I had some left over from my GDC sale after I bought into Wolf. And so, yeah, I mean, I would love to be scooping up more at this point, for sure. Goodwill says, Lynn's big numbers in their LLCs, not them directly. Yeah, 100% Goodwill. That PR with smoke and mirrors, it is. It's not, he's not saying they're just cleaning up on shorting finger. That's not what he's saying. And so, all right, let's keep looking at this. Again, this is all end of the year. Just remember, think about this. All these things I've been showing you the last 2 months since I've really started showing you economic data and adding this, you got to put into context the fact that this is all happening towards the end of a year, in a year where the stock market's super inflated, which, believe it or not, is putting way more stress on everything. When you don't allow things to go about their normal cycles, even if it's the economy, it does put more stress on it. And Ham said tonight, he said that he thinks right now things are 100 times worse than 2008, 100 times. And I mean, I personally think it's, from what I see and just what I know, which is much more limited than him, I think 5 to 10 times worse, so that's what I can see as an outsider. He's an insider. He says it looks 100 times worse. There's no way we avoid this much longer. There just isn't. And you can see this, the cycles here, buying and selling. This is a percentage total US net envy at the start of 2023. But look at the spreads, guys. This is what we're talking, buying and selling, the spreads here. It's just getting crazy. Global bond index is now up 9.5% over the last 2 months. This best 2-month gain in history, even stronger than the rebound seen in December 2008. Market futures add an additional 150 basis points of rate cut expectations since November 1st. Never in history have markets added 6 interest rate cuts to their forecast. In other words, what are they doing? They are inflating the market with their own data, just with hope. You want to talk hopium? People accuse me of all the time. This is what the market's doing right now. It is breathing it in. They're telling themselves a story that they want to believe, so they have excuses to act this way in the market. And it's just crazy. I mean, the index up 9.5% 2 months, biggest 2-month gain in history, even stronger rebound seen in 2008. If you guys remember 2008, even though the economy started crashing in October with Lehman Brothers, it's 2009 where it got the worst. This is what's happening. That's the last time it had that rebound. I mean, this is nuts. want to show you guys this, the difference between productivity and compensation. 1971 was when the gold standard ended. And so it took about 9 years, but then the last 43 years, productivity is getting better. Compensation's slowed. So next time people say like, uh, Gen X, millennials, whatever, lazier generation. Well, the truth is like productivity is actually increased and we're getting paid less for it. So a lot of that has to do with technology as well. But the point is no ways, very few people are getting paid what they're worth anymore. Let me catch up here, guys. Craig, aside from the Secret Service unable to confirm who brought the cocaine to the most secure place in the world, listen, that I guarantee you that PR was controlled by the White House, letting that get out. Hey, Jenny, good to see you. Have a good night. U.S. banks have $684 billion in unrealized losses. Yeah, thanks, Craig. That's just nuts. Brown's up 34.17. Flacco, baby. Polyon, people need to understand it's a coin toss as to which stock rips first. Things change. We have to go with what potential catalyst comes up. Doesn't mean we lost interest in the other. That's 100% right. I don't know what CATV is, Freddie. Key, shorting a secondary is like front running. Yeah. It's okay, man. Mark, the rate on the 30-year fixed mortgage declined to 6.61. Yeah. I'm in fact, is that my next one? Here we go. Yeah, housing buyers 2 months ago incredibly unlucky. If you bought a 500 grand home with 20% down, your mortgage payment in October basically $3,000 a month, and now $2,600. That's how much small mortgage rate changes can affect you, and that's without the Fed lowering rates yet. So that's just rates going on because of bonds, everything in the home market affecting that. This is going to change substantially, and then also on top of that, the prices are going to go down. So if I believe in 1 year, maybe 18 months, homes are going to be much cheaper again, and so that'll be a good time to get in. But you see this, the fastest 2-month drop in mortgage rates since the 2008 crisis. You guys noticing a trend here? I keep pulling up these things, and what do we keep saying? Oh, fastest since, biggest since 08, 2020, 08, 2020, over and over again. This matters. This data matters. This is why I'm telling you that I don't think we have another year and a half till this breaks. I don't think the election is going to be enough to prop it up, because again and again, like I said, 08, 2020, 08, 2020, it keeps being brought up, the comparisons. Here we go. And if inflation follows this path, then 2024 could see a resurgence. You know why this path happened? Because they cut. They cut before inflation had normalized, until the economy had really seen it all the way through. They started cutting rates, then inflation took off again, and that's when Volcker had to come in and hammer down the rates, and you saw the incredible high rates of 12, 15, I think 18%, the highest. Imagine seeing that in today's market. It would break everything. But that's what they risk doing if they start cutting. And it does look like we might start getting a cut or two next year. Finally, Bitcoin's correlation with tech stocks turned negative for the first time since, again, early 2020. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. Here it is. Here's the correlation, 2019, 2020. Okay. Leaned to the crash, but then Bitcoin broke out. And here we are again right here. Just broke under right before what I think is coming. So anyways, guys, that 2024, I don't see how this goes on further. I know there's a lot of people who can rightly criticize and say, oh, you've been saying this since we've been watching. Although, to be fair, I really have only been doing videos for a year. But you could point out a lot of other people who predicted a crash for years now, and you'd be right. You'd be right to criticize them because their timing's been off, and that's fine. But the thing is conditions haven't gotten better. They've just continually gotten worse. And at some point you face a breaking point. You just do. In 2024, with the election coming up, with what's going on in the world with Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, the stresses in the world are just nuts right now. Everything is just bottlenecked up, and at some point it's all got to pop. And I think it's 2024. I really do. I have a lot of reasons for that, which I can talk about on a more so on like a members live or on Twitter. I just can't do it on the public videos as much because there's stuff that YouTube doesn't like. But the point is that you guys can see it. You guys can see it. All these last time we saw this stuff was right before major crashes, all of it. And then you got Ham on the call with me telling us that things are way worse than 2008. Things are, it's the worst he's ever seen. And he's been in the market since before 87. I mean, he's got over 40 years of experience, which means he saw the major crash of 87. He saw the Asian crash of the 90s. He saw the NASDAQ crash in 2000, the tech crash, 2008. He's seen it all. And he's like, nope, this is way worse. So there you go. But the good news is we found the stocks. And again, watch The Big Short again if you need encouragement. Watch Dumb Money if you need encouragement. That's going to be us. I have no doubt in my mind it's going to be us. I don't know when. I don't know how high. But I think all of us are, because of this due diligence we've been doing, because we've been fighting together as a community, because we've been encouraging each other. I was watching, like I said, Dumb Money again today. And it's funny because the Roaring Kitty guy comes home and he's kind of shooken because he just talked to his Wall Street buddy who told him he's an idiot for buying GameStop. And his wife's like, what's wrong? Why are you shooken up? And she's like, he get to you? He's like, yeah. And she's like, well, what was his case? And he's like, we didn't have one. She's like, exactly. You know more about this stock than you know about me. And I love that line. Especially the line where he's like, well, he didn't have one. And that's what I keep seeing with GTI and Finger. I keep looking for the case that says we're wrong. I keep looking for the case that says we're going to get killed. And I don't see it. I just can't see it. Nobody's brought it to me yet. The only case anybody ever brings to me is, well, they bring me two things. And both things I think are nonsense. They don't tell me anything. Number one, they'll say, well, you can't win because they always win. They're in control. Well, whatever. I've seen people in control lose all the time throughout history. Okay, even modern history. So that one doesn't mean anything to me. Number two, this is just AMC, bro. It's AMC again. Are you serious? AMC was so incredibly different. That AMC would have gone to the moon if Adam Aron hadn't screwed them. They were screwed by their own company. This is completely different. So, and there's a lot of other differences too. So then that's it. That's all anybody can tell me when it comes to Finger GTI, why it won't work. Those are the only two reasons that have been brought up to me for over a year now. That's why I'm so confident. Nobody has a case against these things. Nobody has a case. And so, yeah, guys, we're in a great place. That's what I feel. I completely feel that. So let me catch up here. Dustin, Wolf's doing great. Doubled your money. Had in Finger. Hoping to time my exit to get back in. Good job, Dustin. Well done. Gretchen, what's the difference between BTFB and reverse repo? Gretchen, I wish I knew all the details. I'm not that smart on this stuff. I'm learning right now. I'm literally teaching myself as I go right now. Some of this stuff I'm hearing the first time. And I'm learning as I go. And I'm learning fast because I do learn fast, which is fortunate for myself. But I've got to look into that and find out. And I'll try to have an answer to you in the next couple days. Ellie, what's up? 2024 will be a year of change. Go down history books, geopolitical, economic changes. Ellie, you and I completely agree. Old Fine says, gut feeling GTI will be putting out a PR very shortly. I think you're right, Old Fans. I think so. They got that Luke Rabari guy on, and I think something's going to happen soon about it. Some sort of deal that he's probably helping make happen. Brad, when banks are in the business of loaning money and they're not loaning money, we all know something's going to happen. There you go, for sure. ISVA, Joel, I don't know that one. Goodwill says, coming up on a year as part of this community. You guys are the only ones I can talk to about this. Everyone else wants to know when the price is going back up. I don't care about that. Goodwill, totally, man. You guys, I want to say it again. You guys, this community, all the chats, the Twitter community, you guys do as much for me as I do for you. Trust me. It means so much to be able to process all this. So, LL says, reverse repos money market fund money. There you go. And repo is the overnight lending market for banks. Okay. So that's the money market funds. And I'm guessing the ETRF is direct money from the Fed loaning to them. Joel Dawes says a 1,000 Sig and Fidelity waiting for GTI at 30 cents to buy more stock. I mean, for your sake, I hope you hit it. I don't know if we'll see 30. I don't. We dipped under 30 for a while and we bounced back to, almost breaking 50 again. And then, and we're settled at that 40 point. I think we could see high 30s, but I don't think we'll get all the way down to 30 again. I'd be surprised, honestly. But we'll see what happens. First of the year, guys, coming Monday, and the second, it'll be the first trading day of the new year. And I think things might get interesting fast over the next couple months. I really do. So, guys, I'm going to end it on that. I love you guys. It's been a great chat. I really enjoyed having Ham, getting to pick his brain about a lot of stuff. But it's time for me to go see my wife. Just so you guys know, is that I am probably be on tomorrow for another live. It'll probably be a little shorter, but we'll see. And then Saturday, I plan on doing a members live this weekend. So if you want to get in on the membership, it's $3 for an extra 2 to 4 lives a month, and good time to get in. So, but yeah, if otherwise, please like, subscribe, share on your way out. I really appreciate it. And you guys are the best. Let me see what you're saying before I leave here. Goodwill says, my concern about Wolves, if its average volume is 11 and barely moved to 58, what's going to happen when the volume isn't 58? I would say don't hold it long term, Goodwill. That's what I'm not planning on holding Wolf long. I'm going to try to catch a run here while it's exciting. BTFB is a brand new lending facility Fed created in March. Okay, there you go. And they're ending it this March. Allows banks to borrow below the 1-year lending rate, basically free money. That makes sense. That sounds like they recreated what they were already doing with quantitative easing, but they just created a new program for it that could avoid the rate hikes they're having. That's what it sounds like to me, which is terrible for banks if they pull it. Good night, Mike. I love the Ace Lincoln and Ace Smith pictures. They're hilarious, man. May the shorts be with you. You too. So, yeah, we got let's keep the community strong. Love you guys for sure. Hit me up on Twitter if you want. And otherwise, I think I'll